part 10 of this Learn Technical Analysis series. In this video, I'm going to go through price patterns, probably one of my favorite areas of technical analysis and price action. Support and resistance and price patterns, I love it. You may not realize it, but you have already learned some price patterns. So if you started this course from the beginning, I taught you about trends, how price trends, how it swings up and swings down to form an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows. That is a pattern formed by price action. It's a pattern that price creates, historical price action creates. Same with a downtrend, a lower swing lows, lower swing highs. If you think of a sideways market, price oscillates, doesn't it? It goes up and down. It's a pattern that price forms. It tells you something about the market by looking at the pattern. The patterns I'm going to go through in this series, and specifically in this video, are the patterns price forms when it reaches the end of a trend. So if you have an uptrend, these high highs, high lows, price can form a pattern before it starts coming down, before the market direction changes. So here we have an uptrend, it's coming up, something can happen, generally does happen, and then price starts coming down. So these are trend reversal patterns. So the patterns I'm going to go through in this video are trend reversal patterns. They signal the end of a trend or the change of market direction. They're the most commonly used price patterns. There are tons and tons of patterns that we could go through. I'm focusing on the most commonly used, most popular price patterns, which are trend reversal patterns. So the first one is a double top, and we're going to go through loads of examples of these things. But you can see here on this slide, price is uptrending. We have higher highs, higher lows, but suddenly, before price makes its decline down, we have a high that is not as high, and we form like this resistance area. So we have a double top pattern. We have an area where price cannot break. So we have one top here and another top here. So price is unable to form a higher high, and that's the main characteristic of a double top, is price struggles to form a higher high. So this is this high, the next high is not higher. So if we look at an uptrend, the main characteristic of an uptrend is higher highs and higher lows. Price action is unable to make a higher high. That can signal the start of a downtrend, or at least the end of the uptrend. We can even look at the lows here. So the lows are very similar. In a way, we form a very temporary short-term range. So you can see price uptrends, kind of ranges, moves sideways here, and then comes down. So we go up, sideways, down. But this is a double top pattern. Price is unable to form a significantly higher high. There are also double bottoms. Same principle, but obviously a downtrend coming to an end. So we have a downtrend here, we have a lower lows, lower highs, but down at the bottom here, price is unable to push low, it's unable to form a lower swing low. So downtrends are lower swing lows, lower swing highs. If price action is unable to form lower swing lows, that can signal the end of a downtrend, and can at times form this double bottom pattern. Okay, so we have like this support area. Once again, we have like this mini range. So we have a downtrend, a bit of sideways action, and then we move up. There'll be lots of examples of this. But once again, as I've mentioned in other videos, look for these things yourselves, and feel free to email me. Look for these things on charts. If you think you can identify them, take a screenshot and send them to me. I'm more than happy to help you. Also leave your comments or questions in the comment section below. So another pattern, so we have a double top, the end of an uptrend, double bottom, the end of a downtrend. Another common pattern is the head and shoulders pattern. It's a head and shoulders pattern. So it's the same principle, but what can happen with a head and shoulders pattern is instead of forming like this double top where we hit like this resistance area, price actually fails to get very high at all and then comes down. And what that forms is a head in the center here. I can put a face on here. So we got a head here and we have shoulders either side. So that's why it's called a head and shoulders pattern. So we have a shoulder, a head and a shoulder. And generally with a head and shoulders pattern there is a support area here. So the lows are very similar. So the shoulder lows, the swing lows here, 1 and 2, they're very similar with a support area. It's not always the case, but it's the general pattern that you're looking for where we do have higher highs, but instead of unable to push higher, we form a much lower swing high. So if you think of an uptrend becoming a downtrend, this is the sort of price action you're going to see, is higher swing highs and then lower swing highs and also lower swing lows. Just like there is a double bottom, which is opposed to a double top, there is an opposite to head and shoulder patterns, and that is something called inverted head and shoulder patterns. It's the same pattern, but it's upside down. This time for a downtrend becoming an uptrend. And once again, we have the face here. So this is the head, and we have shoulders either side. You have a downtrend here. Price is unable to form a lower swing low, just here, which forms the second shoulder. So we have a higher swing low. So if we were to look at the highs on the head and shoulder pattern, higher swing high, higher swing high, higher swing high, lower swing high. That can signal the end of the uptrend, and then it's the opposite for a downtrend. So we have lower swing lows, then we have a higher swing low just here. Higher swing low forms the head and shoulder pattern, and this time we have a resistance area around those highs. So resistance here. So let's have a look at some examples. I know this is a lot to take in, but we'll have a look at some examples and see how this goes. So this is US dollar, Swiss franc. I think all the charts that I'm going to be going through with you are US dollar, Swiss franc. We have a clear uptrend here, so higher swing highs, higher swing lows. Look at these swings. Each swing high is higher than the previous swing high, and the swing lows here, they're all higher. Prices coming up. But something happens here. So we form a higher swing high, higher swing low. Here is the double top. So we have a resistance area here, double top pattern. And what happens after the double top? Price starts downtrending. Okay, so it marks the end of the uptrend. So higher swing highs, and then unable to swing higher. We form a very similar swing high to the swing high before, and then price starts coming down. Okay, so double top pattern signals the end of an uptrend and possibly the start of a downtrend here. We have another double top right here. So we have these higher swing highs, prices coming up nicely, higher lows, higher highs, unable to swing higher. We have a double top pattern. So thinking of the double top here, this is the pattern. Double top, two highs that are very similar, two highs that are very similar, two highs that are very similar. The double top, the end of an uptrend, possibly the start of a downtrend. Double bottoms, so this time we have a downtrend, the swings are coming down like this, swing low, swing low. They're very similar. Here's the support area. So looking at the downtrend, there's lower highs, there's lower lows, prices coming down. We have a double bottom here. The end of the downtrend. Head and shoulder patterns. An uptrend. Prices coming up nicely. We have a high here. We form slightly higher. This is the head. And then we have a lower swing high. So if you think about the head and shoulder pattern, this is what it looks like. An uptrend, a head, two shoulders, price comes down. If we go back, so we have a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. This is the lower swing low, and then price starts downtrending. So an uptrend, head and shoulder pattern, downtrend. An inverted head and shoulder this time. So price is coming down. We have a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder, and price starts coming up. So a very short term downtrend here. Shoulder, head, shoulder. So here's the head, and we have a shoulder either side. A bit harder to see that one. So let's have a look at the next slide. Can you see any patterns here? This is a really hard one. Let's not do that. We'll wait to the next slide. So once again, a downtrend, we have a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. These are quite hard to see, these ones. But we have a inverted head and shoulder pattern here, a downtrend, a lower swing high, and then price moves up. So give it a go. Can you see any patterns on this chart? This is still US dollar Swiss franc. This is the daily time frame. Is there anything that you can see on this chart? Double tops, double bottoms, head and shoulder patterns. Have a look. Pause the video if you need to. I see a double top. So an uptrend here, higher swing highs, higher swing lows. You know, the lows are coming up each time. There's another higher low here. Here's the double top. The resistance. Price is unable to form a higher swing high. We have a double top, marks the end of this uptrend. We also have an inverted head and shoulder pattern here. This is probably the more clearer pattern out of all these charts. So we have a downtrend here, so we have lower highs, lower lows, we have a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. So price is unable to swing lower. We have a higher swing low here. Forms the inverted head and shoulder pattern. Generally speaking, spotting these patterns and also diagonal support and resistance are generally the more challenging areas of price action. So if you are struggling with this, you know, don't worry about it. These are harder to grasp and take a lot of practice. Okay, can you see anything here? Double tops, double bottoms, head and shoulder patterns, inverted head and shoulder patterns. Have a look, pause the video if you need to. I see a double top up here. Possibly this could be a head and shoulder pattern as well. I also see a double bottom down here. So 1 and 2 marks the end of the downtrend. That is it. Hopefully this has helped. Once again, feel free to ask your questions below. Feel free to email me, samuel@love-the-pips.com. If you go over to my website, you can see my email address there. We are coming to the end of price action. So this course will continue because this course is about technical analysis and price action is just part of technical analysis. So we are moving on to technical indicators now. So technical analysis is really all about price, but price action and technical indicators. So price action and indicators pretty much form technical analysis. So we're coming to the end of price action now, and I will move on to technical indicators. Thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you in another video.